Welcome back, everybody, to this edition of Does It Still Rock, where I go back 30 years on the albums that shaped my life and find out if they still rock in 2025. This time around, we're going to be exploring the album Short Bus by the band Filter, which was released on April 25th, 1995. That's where it's going. Does it still rock? You're about to find out. Hang on to your hats because here we go. It's rock time. So go back a little bit before the album dropped, back to 1993 when Richard Patrick left the Nine Inch Nails and was actually encouraged by Trent Reznor to start his own thing while he had been touring with the Nine Inch Nails during the Pretty Hate Machine and the Downward Spiral. Short Bus was recorded in a rented house in Ohio on a very small shoestring budget, as most first albums tend to be. Patrick and Brian handling the guitars, programming, and production over a period of 8 months. Talking about the sound and style, it's kind of an industrial grit meets grunge melody. Lots of drop D guitar, drum machine clatter, loops. You could describe the sound even as industrial metal, post-grunge, heavy, melodic. It was often praised for the raw guitar, heavy production, and stand out in industrial rock. When it comes out to the standout tracks on the album, the one that stands out the most and still quite notoriously today is Hey Man, Nice Shot. For those who are unfamiliar, it is actually inspired by the R. Bud Dwyer televised suicide that took place. He did a speech on television before turning a gun on himself, unfortunately, and that was the inspiration of the song from Filter on this album. Other notable tracks include Dose and Under. They were the other singles coming off of the Short Bus album. It doesn't mean that defines the whole album, though, at the same time. And we're going to get to that in just a moment, talking a little bit more in depth about the full listen experience as opposed to just those singles. As for a cultural impact, the debut went platinum in the US, topping 1 million in sales. Influenced later industrial metal and electronic-driven alternative bands. And they have been touring as of late, too, Filter, celebrating 30 years of this album. I was actually fortunate enough to see them open up for Bush recently in concert. Along with my wife, we went to the show, and Filter did an amazing job. First time I've ever got the opportunity to see them live, and man, they reminded me of just why I enjoyed this band a long time ago, and hence inspired me to make sure that this album made the list of albums that we did on this Does It Still Rock. You know, giving the album a full listen through front to back is something I haven't done in a long time. In fact, when I was looking at the track listing, looking at it, I'm like, oh my, I was like, I know a lot of songs by Filter, and there was only a couple that really stood out as like, oh, I still remember those ones for sure without even listening. But it wasn't until I sat down and spun it from front to back multiple times, I'm like, oh yeah, this song. Oh yeah, there's just track after track of this absolute just heavy hitting, just hard sound. It's so phenomenal, so raw, so just chef's kiss. I completely forgot, and that's bad on my part, just how incredible Filter's Short Bus album was. And now that I've gone and spun it through several times over, it is going to come back into regular rotation on my playlist in 2025. So to ask the question, does it still rock today? Hell yes, it does. It's packed with raw emotion, punchy riffs, industrial textures, and it still packs a punch. So in conclusion, 30 years later, Short Bus does still rock, and it still rocks hard. If you're craving that industrial grunge connection, then this debut absolutely does deliver the goods. So let me know, have you listened to it recently? Unfortunately, I hadn't. I was a new listener again, all over again. I got to rediscover that part by listening again. So let me know, Short Bus, have you listened to it recently? And if not, go check it out right away and let me know in the comment section what you thought 30 years later of Filter Short Bus. Hey, maybe you're new to this sound. Maybe you're new to music from 30 years ago. That's okay. Highly recommend going to check it out and finding out more about this band because they deserve that much more attention. They're still rocking hard today, still going great. So yes, that album, worth a check. Go find it out. Short Bus by Filter, 100% rocks today.